Hello my crazies, Reagan here from Horse Crazy Mama, and this is 5 tips for buying a horse as a gift. First tip I'm going to talk about today is buying a horse they chose. So sometimes you get an animal and you bring it home to your kids and they just don't click. Personalities clash. It's a little easier with a puppy, but with a horse that's about 1,200 pounds, that's not going to happen. You got to be really careful with selecting the animal that your child is really going to mesh with, really going to connect with and learn more from. That doesn't always mean the perfect pony, but it does mean that the personalities need to be able to connect and be able to grow together. Ways that you can do this are, 1, have the kid ride potentials for lessons leading up to Christmas. So it takes a lot of planning, a lot of strategy. I really hope it's not too late for you this year, but hopefully next year you can talk to the trainer and bring animals who are potentials for your kid to take lessons on leading up until the big day. 2, you can borrow potential horses to go on to trail rides or hacks. This is a lot of fun because you can actually go with your kid. If you own a different horse or you can rent a horse, there are many different ways that you can actually go with your kid on these trail rides. But in order to do this, you can talk to the seller and say, hey, I'm trying to keep this a secret. I'm sure the seller will be totally fine with this as long as they're with you, and just go out on a trail ride, see how the kid connects, see how the horse behaves. Is it spooky? Is it just totally bomb-proof? Is it, it's a good way to test out the horse and test out how well it meshes with your child. Another way that you can get the horse that they connect with is listen to your kids' rants and ravings. Chances are, if you have an equestrian child, they will not shut up about their horses. If they're anything like I was at that age anyways. Just listen to your kid, let them talk. Maybe their favorite breed is a quarter horse. Maybe they really want something nice and tall so they can get those jumps that are beyond your imagination, You gotta really listen to them and listen to what they're looking for and pay attention to some of their favorites. Tip number 2, know how they're going to use the horse. A pasture pet isn't going to be conducive for somebody who wants to jump competitively. It doesn't work. You have to know what discipline your child is riding. Are they riding Western or are they riding English? Are they a hunter jumper or are they in dressage? Maybe they're in reining or cattle herding or whatever the discipline may be. Be sure that you are aware of it and that the horse that you purchase is at least open to being trained in that discipline or has already been trained in that discipline, depending on your kid's experience. Another thing to consider in how they're going to use the horse is what temperament that horse needs to have. Is your child nervous? If your child is nervous, you may need to get a horse that is a little more bomb-proof. Otherwise, if you get a spooky horse for a spooky kid, fireworks are going to go off everywhere. It's just not going to be pretty. Or is your child more confident and you think that they can handle a spookier horse? That is something to take into consideration. Another thing to take into consideration when the horse is being used is age. It's unfortunate, but horses only live for so long. And if your child is wanting to take that horse and do something big with it, you may want a horse who is a little younger, not too young. Not a good idea, especially for a first horse. You want it to be at least 8 years of age. But if your kid is just wanting to do trail rides, they just want to go for fun, they want to have a horse who's nice and slow and steady and just someone to snuggle, an older horse is a perfect match. Please adopt the older horse. They are such sweethearts. Tip number 3 would be to purchase something within budget. I know this is like the hardest factor to bring in because horses can be so expensive. It's just the harsh reality of it all. However, there are possible ways that you can get a horse within your budget. Just be sure to crunch those numbers, to be smart, and to not go for that $75 million Arabian out there. Tip number 4, Beware the perfect pony. One sales tactic that is out there, and it's kind of underhanded, but people take advantage of non-equestrian parents all the time. So watch out, be savvy, and kind of keep an eye out for these undesirables. Something that some people will do, they will name the horse something really cute. Something like Sugar Plum or Daisy or Butterscotch or whatever it might be. You just have to be careful and not purchase the horse based on looks and name alone, and be sure that you're paying attention to the horse's personality, to their soundness, to their health, to their age, to their disciplines, and be careful on the package that it's wrapped in. Another thing to look out for is most ponies are the devil. Not all of them, obviously, because I have seen some really cute, very sweet ponies out there, but a lot of ponies are so adorable that they're able to get away with everything. Everything. It's insane, but it's kind of like having a small dog where it's just so cute and so tiny, it looks like a puppy all the time and you just want to snuggle it all the time, and it's able to get away with literally murder. Another thing is papers don't matter as much as you might think. Sure, if you want a registered quarter horse or something that's official, keep an eye out for those. Make sure that the paper is legit, because literally anybody can forge papers. It's not that hard. Don't do it. Not good. But be sure to also pay attention to the actual horse. Some lineages, it doesn't matter as much as the actual horse itself. Every horse is an individual. It doesn't matter if they're descended from Seabiscuit. Another tip for beware of the perfect pony is always test the horse yourself before you purchase it. Even if you don't ride, at least take somebody along who knows more about horses than you do. It's a pretty safe rule of thumb. Which leads me into tip number 5. Bring a professional. No matter where you're getting this horse from, whether it's from a rescue, whether it's from a racetrack, whether it's from a professional breeder, no matter where you're getting this horse from, bring a professional with you. That means communicate with your child's trainer so you know exactly what your child needs, how high the horse needs to be, what kind of temperament they need to have, what discipline they're in. Just communicate with their trainer, with their lesson instructor. Also, it's always, always, always a good idea to bring a vet. Always bring a vet. With every horse that you're seriously considering, bring a vet. You never know, some horses are actually, they're sold as sound, and then later on, sometimes not even from the fault of the seller itself, you find out that the horse has a bone chip and you need to pay for this expensive operation to get the bone chip removed in order for the horse to be used for show jumping or for hunter jumper or whatever it might be. So be careful, always bring a vet, and be sure that you have certified x-rays of the horses if the seller has admitted to an injury beforehand. Another good rule of thumb is to bring along somebody who knows more about horses than you do. Even if you're an expert. I'm talking to those people who think they know everything about horses. Seriously, I'm pretty sure not even Pat Pirelli knows everything about horses. Always bring someone who knows more about horses than you do. That's going to keep you in a position of learning rather than of, oh, I know everything and I don't need to concern myself with everything like that. And it kind of keeps us in check and makes sure our ego are way down here rather than way up here, and we end up making a purchase that we later on regret. Did I miss anything? What tips would you add to this list? Be sure to comment in the comment section below. And if you guys found these tips helpful or interesting or maybe even a little entertaining, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you do not miss the next video that's coming out next week. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up to let me know that you loved it. See you guys next time, and keep that crazy in horse crazy. Bye. But be sure to also you can borrow